Hello everyone, this is Persephone and this is a video for the goddesses who are watching me. I want to remind you that all the cool stuff are going to be on OnlyFans. What I have on this channel is more than enough to make you succeed in Femdom and Femdom, but OnlyFans is the thing that is going to make you to succeed fast, okay? For two reasons. Reason number one is that I have a lot of sessions dissected step by step there that I can show you how to do them. For example, I have a macrophilia session that is broken down to the very basics that unfortunately I can't post on YouTube because it's not family friendly. And thing number two, because it has a chat function and you can chat with me directly and ask me whatever you want about the new subs that you get or about your problems with them. So it really makes things much faster. But other than that, I'm still going to be making Femdom and Femdom videos for you here as well because it's free for you. You don't pay me, YouTube pays me, so it works well for both of us. So I'm going to explain to you some things about subs that I realized that they're not widely known, but if you know them, your life is going to become much easier. Thing number one, basic but essential to remember. Those men are beta loser trash men to their majority. They're men incapable of taking control in their relationship because a femdom relationship is a very real relationship. Doesn't matter if it's paid or not. So this means you have to be in control. Otherwise, they are going to take a sick, twisted form of control and started playing mind games with you until they turn you insane. And to speak with examples, I had a sub who wanted me to make a custom video for him. And I said, okay, let's do it. And he sent me, I think that was like, I've done a year of acting when I was in high school. It was actually like a script for a movie. It was pages upon pages upon pages. Thanks to my autism, it's very easy for me to memorize things, so I memorized it, and it had a lot of humiliation inside. If you want to ask me what's the main theme in that custom, it would be, you'll never have this. Me making close-up of my body, of my lips, and talking and whispering like ASMR style, although I hate ASMR, but I'm a pro, if I get paid, I do it. And it was like, you'll never have this. It also had all kinds of insults inside, up to the last detail, that you're too worthless to be with me, your penis is too small, you're disgusting, you're just a pervert, you're just a creeper, you're just a stalker. It had a lot of stalking elements, that he's a stalker and he wants to be with me, and actually he was the stalker type because he had asked me if I would install a camera inside my apartment to sell him 24/7 footage. I was like, no, that's not going to happen. So it was a bunch of insults. So I made this custom and I sent it, and then he blocked me. It was like, what happened there? And I followed the script down to a T. I didn't improvise at all, which is something that usually bothers me because when I have scripts that the person says, I want you to improvise, or this is the general concept and I want you to add your own personal improvisation, I think that makes it a lot more genuine. But this guy was a control freak, so he had everything written down, what I'm wearing, what I'm saying, and so on. And a few days afterwards, he unblocked me. And he paid the very, very hefty unblocking fee. I think the fee was around $300 or something because it wasn't the first offense. And then I asked him, why the hell did you block me? And he said, because you were too cruel to me. How can you say those things to me? You have no heart, you're heartless. How can you say those things? It broke my heart. I wanted to commit suicide. And I was like, dude, you're the one who wrote them. And he said, yeah, but still, it was too much. It was too much cruelty. It was too much sadism. And you should have thought of toning them down for me. You should have thought of that. You should have been a mind reader. So if you're a normal person and you meet a sub who is behaving like that, you're going to start feeling insane. Around month 2, month 3, you're going to start thinking that you're not cut out for this profession, you're getting insane, and so on. So I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking what the fuck is wrong with this guy, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with this guy. As we all know, there is Freud and there is the 5 psychosexual stages in early child development. Okay. When someone is underdeveloped and he has an inconsistent caretaker in his first years of life and he has a ton of unmet needs, it's like those needs are frozen in time. So when he meets you and he starts feeling more comfortable with you, or he starts to trust you, which is something that takes time, but it happens in femdom relationships as well. Like I said, for me, this is not LARPing, this is the real thing. All of his unmet needs are coming out and he wants you to cover them. So in a similar way, when someone is a baby, because this type of need that this guy was showing is happening around 1 year old, when the child is 1 year old or a bit younger, the baby starts being frustrated with the mother because the baby, let's say, is hungry and it's crying and the mother doesn't know what's wrong with it, or tries to change its diaper, or tries to like put it to sleep, and the baby's hungry and it's thinking like, wow, so you're not as godlike as I thought after all. It's one of the first disappointments in life, that your mother doesn't always know what's wrong with you. That's with normal mothers. Imagine a mother that the baby is crying and crying and crying and she's sleeping at night, or she has taken drugs and she doesn't even care, she doesn't even know. This child ends up an extremely needy, bitter adult who expects people around him to be mind readers. Because for the child in that unmet need, it should have been obvious what's wrong with it. So this guy, what he wanted from me was for me to read that custom and say, wow, how can you say this to yourself? You're not really a bad guy. This is too bad. I can't say those things to you. You matter to me. I have to say less bad things. And because I'm me, aka autism, I'm like, okay, this is it. What do you want to say? Okay, I'm saying it. And this is something that can turn abusive to both your subs and you. So every time there is something like that you don't know or you don't understand, I advise educate yourself in psychology. You can even Google it up if you don't want. I would say start by reading about those stages online. There is a lot of good material, trying to understand. Eventually you can move on buying books or buying courses and stuff, because if you know it, that can make you a top Femdom goddess. Because other people are not going to know them, and you're going to be able to satisfy the needs that your subs have in a way that is going to turn them into regulars. And the regulars are the ones who are going to make you a millionaire, not the guys who want to just get off and then move on to the next person. Another thing that is going to happen with your subs is that there are a lot of subs who have a very feminine brain, which means they're going to be doing a lot of shit tests to you. They're going to be doing things to cross your boundaries and see if you're going to accept them or not. I had an extremely cancerous guy who contacted me recently, I think it was a month or so, and he disgusted me so much that I didn't even want to make a video about him. Usually, because of my experience, I can immediately tell when a guy is actually bad news, just from the first message, and I can tell you the hints so you can know too. When someone starts and says, I'm not beta, I have a big dick, I'm tall, I'm this and that, but I'm interested in serving you. That's usually bad news. Slaves need to be humble. Subs and pay pigs need to be humble. And if you say, why do you use 3 different words, slaves, subs, or pay pigs? It's because, first of all, they're not the same thing. Second, they don't like to be called the same thing. And third, I don't know your situation. You may have a live-in sub that is a domestic sissy, let's say, or you may have a pay pig who is a human ATM. So I'm using those terms interchangeably for the sake of the video to reach out to many people, but they're not the same thing. In any case, they need to be humble, doesn't matter what they are. They don't come to you to say, I'm this and I'm that and I'm hot and I'm strong and I'm sexy, but neuro-linguistic programming says whatever comes before the but is a lie. And at the end of the day, if he's so hot and sexy and alpha is strong and has a big black hawk, why isn't he out there fucking 10 women and he needs to pay you for your time, you know? So this is some kind of narcissistic delusion that it's a very big red flag. The second thing that is a red flag is that this sub, the atrocious guy that I'm talking about, he told me there was a fake goddess. I shit test fake goddesses. There was a goddess that I told her that if she acts submissive towards me, I'm going to send her a huge amount of money. And he was looking to see my reaction. My reaction in those cases is like, when you see rotten food in a trash can and you pass by and you just take a look at it with your peripheral vision and then you continue walking, that should be your reaction. Slight contempt, slight disgust, and let's move away from this fast because I don't have the time to deal with this. So I told the guy, well, okay, so she was a fake goddess, and like, why are you telling me? Because people, especially subhumans, because saying people isn't good enough, they are going to try to hold money over your head. They're going to try to control you with money, and that's the first shit test that you're going to have to pass as a goddess. It happens to everyone. If you are in a desperate situation financially and you don't have any money, it's extremely difficult to not give in to those mind games. But I'm warning you, you should never give in to those mind games, because if you do, and this person is a true psycho, and let's say they record you without your consent and they upload it to 3 or 4 porn sites, you're going to be the fake goddess forever. So if you don't have money, you're going to say, Persephone, okay, we have a reputation, but I don't have to pay the rent next month and I'm going to be the homeless goddess vlogging with my phone. Yeah, because I don't want that to happen either. It's better to start as a cam girl, or to start as offering online sex services or real escorting or real sugaring, whatever you're doing, to get some money and then move into femdom and fiendom, then be the broke goddess who did submissive, humiliated things because she was homeless or she was hungry. Don't be that person, don't be that sucker. If a cam girl wants to act submissive, no one's going to say anything, because you know something, someone pays you. As a cam girl, you have to, like, the biggest variety possible is your goal. So if someone says do this and I'm going to give you money and you do it, within reason of course, I'm not saying to degrade yourself, no one is going to say anything. But if a goddess acts submissive, this is not a goddess anymore. And that's not just me saying it, I'm saying that this is something that it will haunt you forever and ruin your career, especially if after those days you become successful. There are going to be psycho other goddesses who are going to be jealous of you, and they're going to find this shit and repost it to ruin you. I'm telling you, there is no worse community than the Femdom Twitter community. The cancer I've seen in there, it's worse than the Asian incel subreddits. And I'm really disappointed. I don't want women to be like that. There are enough paybags for everyone. There is no reason to just tear each other down, okay? So those are all the red flags that you need to be very careful of. In general, it's better to have very strong boundaries, to know what you will and will not do. So when the subs approach you and they start their shit, to just cut them off immediately. So I told that guy, even if you block me or you get mad at me, that's your problem and not my problem, and I don't give a fuck. It's your job to actually express your needs in a clear way. And sometimes I even tell them about that, and I direct them to those resources, and I explain to them this is what happens and you need therapy. And a vasectomy, you know, definitely a vasectomy if they're not into chastity. If it was up to me, I would lock all of those men permanently in chastity after giving them a vasectomy forever, because they're too damaged to, you know what I mean, they're too damaged to be normal boyfriends. So their best bet is serving a goddess forever. But because most of them don't have the discipline to be permanently in chastity, we end up in half measures until they build themselves up for long-term chastity. So anyway, my point is, if you don't know where you stand, if you are a noob, because Fiendom and Femdom have a lot to do with reputation, start from other things that they're more flexible and then build yourself up. If you ask me, because there are people who approach me for all kinds of things. So I like to have a variety of content on my OnlyFans. And I've posted content that is not Fiendom and Femdom at all. There are things that they are fetishes, there are things that they're like random, let's say adult content that I filmed in the past and so on. And people say, why do you post that? I have reached the point of certainty on myself, and people know me, and because of the YouTube channel people know me, having integrated everything, that I don't care. But when you are a noob, you should care. You know what I mean? After you establish a reputation, you can do whatever you want to. But it's important to be your choice and not a result of financial coercion. You know what I mean? That someone says, I'm going to give you $1,000 if you do this and that, and you don't want to do it, and you're about to lose your house, or you're about to starve. Don't even get into this. If you are desperate for money for any reason you're watching me, it's better to just sign up on a campsite and say, I'm going to sit here until I make the money. Plenty of people have done it, there's no shame, and no one is going to blame you compared to saying, I'm a goddess, and then degrading yourself. And I want to say something to close this video. I want to please ask the new people who are finding my channel to start by the videos, Fiendom Basics, 30 fetish videos reloaded, and so on. I don't have the time, and I'm not going to answer the same 50 questions over and over and over. And there is this soul tapeworm type of person that is contacting me. I started to get this type of emails from multiple people who are saying, hey, I found your channel and I'm interested in Femdom. Do you have any advice? And I really want to answer, yeah, just give me 4 weeks to write down all of the content from my videos, because you're too lazy to watch them like everyone else is watching them, so you can have your advice. Do you have any idea how disrespectful that is? Watch everything first, take notes, pause the video, because I realize that my autism is not everyone's autism, so my videos very often have condensed information that for a normal person it can sound from simply too much to outright psychotic. Pause the videos, take notes, rewatch some parts, experiment with them. For example, take a video about, let's say, consensual blackmail. When you meet a sub who is into that, experiment with that, and then come to me with specific questions. That saves both my time and your time because it's physically impossible at this point, and it's also counterproductive. I'm saying the exact same things on a video and you just don't care to watch it. As for the narcissists who are saying, what kind of advice do you have? I'm just going to say my advice is your mom should take you to therapy because she raised you to act like royalty. Because you are sending me a video with a question so generic, like what kind of advice? I'm into Femdom, help me. That's like saying, I don't know, I want to be an Instagram model, help me. I could be talking for months with you to make you number one. And you ask me that for free when you haven't even bothered to watch my videos. I'm not going to even respond to those emails anymore. You're going to be going straight into the trash can. Respect others if you want to respect you. Okay? And when you're coming to me acting like you're royalty, you don't expect me to respect you, right? That's all for today.